Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Happy Healthy Moms. So excited you're here with me today. We are gonna have a little chat today about colic and the babies. So if you have a baby or you are going through colic with your baby right now, make sure to tune into this video where I give you my experience and some tips and tricks. So let's go. All right guys, welcome back. Like always, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel so I can keep bringing you guys more content. All right, so today we're gonna just have a relaxed conversation and we're gonna talk about colic. So I feel like for all the moms who have experienced a child that's had colic, we need a special club because it is absolutely horrible. And I don't think it's talked about enough. I don't think there's enough just awareness about it. Oh my God, I feel like my husband and I almost got divorced over it. It's brutal. So a little background into my experience. So my son is now 8 months old, out of the colicky phase, thank God. But it was a rough 3 months. We noticed pretty quickly, probably the first week he was home from the hospital, so fussy. I was trying to nurse, and after every time I would nurse, he would scream. And I mean, completely different than from my first daughter. Like, she had no issues at all. She loved nursing, she loved a bottle, whatever, she was fine. Like, I'm nursing him and then he's fed and he's screaming. Like, what is wrong with this baby? And even though you've had other kids, it's still a new experience. You're still dumbfounded and you still feel like, what am I doing? It's a lot. All different types of things. I was trying to change my diet. That didn't work. The pediatrician wasn't a lot of help, unfortunately. So with my daughter, she had a lot of gas, constipation type issues when she was a baby, and I have a very, very hard time nursing. I had a very low milk supply no matter what I did. I might do a separate video on that because the challenges I faced with nursing were extremely difficult, and because of that, I couldn't provide enough milk for basically either child. But with my daughter, because I had struggled nursing, I couldn't produce enough. We had to supplement. And you guys know me, Miss Nutrition, lady who looks at ingredients on everything. I did not like US formulas at all. So I opted, after a ton of research, to try a European-based formula. It was a night and day difference. This formula was a game changer. So with my son, I was like, perfect. I already know the formula to use. We're just gonna go to this. He'll be fine. He probably just has some stomach issues just like my daughter did. It'll work out. We'll just do this formula. I remember giving him the formula and he screamed even louder. Like, my husband and I were in tears, like, what do we do? Like, he needs to be fed, but after every feeding, you could tell, and it wasn't a painful cry. Like, you could tell he was in pain. And you're just dumbfounded. You just have no idea what to do. So I'm pretty sure I remember the weekend I called my mom. We were buying every single formula, this and that we could find. We tried a soy-based formula, and after he tried some soy, he was okay. He didn't cry after the bottle. And we tried a couple other things, and after I did a lot of reading, I came across a lot of articles and topics that stated how babies are very sensitive to dairy and lactose, and the majority of the formulas in our milk are dairy lactose based. Had no idea. And you know what? The doctor never once mentioned to me that maybe the baby is having a little bit of a lactose dairy intolerance. Apparently it's a super common thing, but my doctor failed to mention that to me, just said, oh, I'm sorry, you just have a very colicky baby. Colic is basically just, there's no definition or reason why your baby keeps crying. So if they say you have a colicky baby, it just means that your baby's very fussy and cries a lot and they don't know why. And I was determined to figure out why the heck he was crying so much. He was crying so much because he was intolerant to lactose and it was killing his stomach after every time he ate. We figured out that. We found some non-dairy based hypoallergenic formulas. Not cheap. The hypoallergenic non-dairy formulas are super expensive, I also did a lot of research and went with a European-based hypoallergenic non-dairy formula. Again, the US based, the soy based, I just wasn't crazy about the ingredients. That's me, that's my personal beliefs. I'm not telling you guys for any reasons if you use those formulas there's anything wrong. This was my choice, my decision. Big reason why I haven't done a video yet on American versus European formula is because I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, so don't know if I'm ready to go there yet, but maybe soon. I did find a European-based formula that, again, was a lifesaver. It helped so much. The problem was he was still fussy. He was still slightly colicky. And we had to we tried probiotics. So we would do like probiotics before, like once a day. There were also some pre and probiotics in the formula that I had, so that was great too. And then gas drops. Gas drops were our best friend. Even though he was, you know, had a hypoallergenic formula and a formula that was dairy-free, he still had a lot of just gas issues. Poor little thing. So we ended up doing gas drops pretty much before every single feeding. It was essential, and you could tell if you missed the gas drops. By about 2 months old, we found the formula. You know, it took us about a month to really hone in on a certain formula for him that he thrived on. The first month was a challenge. There were times that I would go to my parents' house and I would be like, can I just leave him here for like 10 minutes and go sit in my car so I just don't have to hear the screaming? I swear it's torture. There's only so much crying you can take before you go crazy, especially when you're not sleeping. Colicky babies, fussy babies, it's so hard. It's so hard. Honestly, like any of you moms that have colicky babies or have had them, my heart goes out to you, because those first 2 to 3 months of his life, they're so precious, and you're home from work. Like I was on maternity leave for 3 months, and I swear it was some of the hardest 3 months of my life because he was just so colicky. It's a struggle. So let me hear your stories if you've had any colicky type babies. So yeah, number one, we switched to a non-dairy formula. Number two, gas drops all day, every day, because let me tell you, the kids struggle with some gas. We would even do the tricks where you would take their legs and you would kind of bend them up and down to kind of move some of the air bubbles. And you could always tell when he had an air bubble stuck. You would just have to bounce him and pat his back and try to burp him so much when he had an air bubble stuck. I remember sometimes we would be burping him for like 10-15 minutes and he'd be screaming, and sometimes I'd be like, oh my god, I feel like I'm literally hitting him like hard trying to get this air bubble out, and finally it would come out and he would just be so happy. But gas drops definitely help because they break down those air bubbles into smaller so they can get them up easier. Unfortunately, with our son, he still had problems with a lot of just burping type stuff, even with the gas drops. So we talked to his pediatrician more, and we had to make the decision to put him on some acid reflux medication for a little while. He was throwing up a lot, just a lot of burping, a lot of throwing up. From 0 to 3 months, their digestive systems just are not developed very well. So it's really common for them to have trouble digesting food. They're just not developed. Got some acid reflux medication that we used, once a day, and that did help. The time he turned 3 months old, it was like he turned 3 months and a switch flipped. He was just like a different kid. It's just something in the early stages of life, things aren't developed, and it's true what they say, just hang in there a little longer. Get them to the 3 month point and I promise it'll get better, because we were there and we were ripping our hair out. Turned 3 months old. I think it was like the week I went back to work after maternity leave, and he was like a different baby. It was a rough 3 months. We tried a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I think it was the formula, and then also just a combination of him needing to grow a little more and have a more developed digestive system. At about 6 months old, we switched over to a regular formula, so we didn't go with the hypoallergenic non-dairy anymore. We slowly transitioned him. So it is possible that even if your baby is sensitive or intolerant to dairy lactose, when they're born, they're gonna grow out of it, and the majority of the time they do. So I really hope that you know, this helps some of you guys. If any of you guys are just had a baby, they're really colicky, you don't know what to do, try to look into some non-dairy type formulas. If you are an avid on nursing and you can produce, that's fantastic. Try to go on a non-dairy diet, because the dairy, the lactose is going to be in your milk as well. So change your diet. And then if you are not nursing, look into those hypoallergenic non-dairy formulas, because they don't tell you that all the time, that little babies can be very sensitive to lactose. And if I would have known that in the beginning, it would have saved me a lot of headache and a lot of sleepless nights. So just look into maybe a dairy sensitivity. It's very common, and see if that's something that could work for you. Also, gas drops were my go-to, and then again, if it's still an issue, maybe talk to your pediatrician about some acid reflux meds, and then just take a deep breath and look at the calendar and just count down to 3 months old, because when they get 3 months old, they're gonna just grow out of it. He's almost 9 months old now, and he's perfect. He's a sweetie. He's happy all the time. He loves food, anything, doesn't have any sensitivities, any issues, grew out of them all. So the end will come. You will get through it. I promise. We did. It was rough, but we got through it. And now he's a sweetie. He's so happy, and we love him. It was, like I said, a tough 3 months, but we got through it. So hopefully some of these tips and my experience help any of you moms that are going through the colicky stage with your babies. Make sure to drop me a comment, leave me your feedback if you have any questions, or let me know your experience with your colicky little ones. I would love, to share our heartbreak together on how difficult this was. So let's bring awareness to the colicky baby mom group that needs to be created, because it was intense, and we all need to be able to vent together and tell each other how hard it was. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and like always, stay happy, healthy moms, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.